better chance of being able to grab a win here, maybe tying up the series as they decide to go for first pick, which means Team Dignitas will have the pick of Battleground, and they have chosen Infernal Shrines.
It's honestly one of those games where you could talk all day long about how perfect Dignitas plays. And I think if you look at the replay analysis of this, just this small thing that we now pointed out twice with interrupting rotations, we say that, but it's actually something that to pull that off properly and to showcase how that is being executed, it's absolutely crazy. I can only recommend that during that game you really pay close attention, especially to the minimap, because you see Dignitas do that a lot, and it forces these like long rotations on the other side, and just that denies experience. It's why oftentimes you see a hero clearing a wave out, sitting between two lanes, just waiting to see, okay, does someone else try and push through? If that's the case, you slow him down, you attack him. You're not trying to kill him or anything, you're just trying to make sure that he doesn't grab the experience on the other lane. That's something you can emulate in their own games too. You will not get the coordination to an extent that you see from a high-level team like Dignitas, but even trying to deny a few minions each and every wave to your opponent's side laner is something that really adds up over time.
I mean, it even goes further than that. I mean, the very first control point where we had Sergeant Hammer and Decker Kane immediately getting on top of it so they can get control, that becomes a situation that's impossible to break for a Garrosh. It seems like they understood the priority of here's how our composition can get a win, and if you don't have your opponent jabbing in there or trying to take that back before that even happens, you get into a situation where you're just so far behind, you just see the snowball effect. I mean, we can talk about it all day, but let's go ahead and go to game number 2 here. As Genji Diao is manned out, Tassadar and Abathur, Alex Straza will be the first pick for the Zealots.
It's actually a bit insane that she's first pick.
Yeah.
I mean, she's strong on the map, and that's powerful, but that she goes into a first pick, that is something. Urel and Deckard Kane again. Now, right now, we come back to the goats for the first animals to be domesticated.
10,000 BC.
Yeah.
Before computers. Do you know that? That's what that means. I'm pretty sure.
I love it. That's actually good. You just made it funny. Hanzo and Leoric. So, Alex this high is actually pretty cool because, of course, she's powerful on the map, but that she now moved into a first pick position is pretty awesome. The interesting part for me is now with this, Dignitas, in an ideal world, of course, would like to not show too much here, so they showed the exact rotation that they already showed in the previous game. Urel, Deckard. It's also a super strong one, and it's powerhouse picks for them, so they're not showing anything new here. They're not showing anything to opponents that are trying to scout out their games in order to prepare for the Western Clash or what they're going to try and play. Wait, they pick one of the best heroes for Zelia and Wubi's Bay? Oh my god, what a shocking surprise. Like, I never saw that coming. The question just remains, should the Zealots at any point target those?
I don't know, man. You take away Urel and then you get angry, Wubby. You don't want to deal with that, right? you rather give it to him, you know?
It's a good point.
You don't want to get bullied.
But Urel, I feel she should be a bit more contested in general than she is right now.
Gotta agree with you. One of the best top laners you can have, especially when you build a team around it.
Not only in this series, by the way. Like, it really frustrated me a bit between Leftovers and Granite Gaming earlier also, that just Urel is something that Granite Gaming doesn't play around. I feel that's an absolute no-go with how powerful that hero is currently. And there's Hammer again. Garrosh this time, the only mix-up. Not going for Johanna.
Decent control for themselves when it comes to the shrine. You still got the Alex Straza. And you got the smoke for Hanzo too.
Come again?
Decent control.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hanzo explosive arrows coming in too. So they can contest the shrine if they want to, actually, especially with the Garrosh flank coming in with the Urel to pounce in.
Yeah, it depends a bit on who takes the earlier position, but yeah, once that they have the shrine, definitely going to work out. There's Johanna for them.
And a Chromie on Infernal Shrines. Is that Chris Chromie?
It's the idea that you have a tool against Hammer. Seems to be the thought process here.
Yeah, also Garrosh too. You can poke him down. And if you can get set up on a shrine and get a time trap there, and you have Chromie sieging on the chokes that come in from your opponents trying to force a fight in those corridors, get some value out of that.
You pretty much know my opinion on Chromie these days.
You love her.
Yeah, totally. And there's the Maiev as the immediate counter. It's not only that you have Urel, but they're also going for Maiev, and they're saying, wait, you play Chromie? All right, have fun. We're going to dive her.
Displacement City. Garrosh tossing you around, Heather's coming in, Warden's cage. If Maiev gets in trouble into the fray, just pull him back. If things get in trouble, you can go for Lornado as well, or even to stay a while and listen to lock him down. Chromie's gonna have a hard time, but saving grace, Johanna and Leoric on that front line. They can kind of hold on displacement. They're fine with it with the Iron Skin and also the Wraith Walk. Doable.
You think?
It's doable. That's like my way of saying maybe they got this.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, I feel. Oh, I mean, obviously tough to go up against Dignitas, but still, like, for me, I honestly want to see how much of an impact Chromie has here.
Yeah.
Because you know the pain is coming. It's just like, how do you stop it? If they can, that would already be a win. If they can somehow make the Chromie work and really have an impact here, even if you lose the map, then I would be okay. Against a different team, you can definitely pull that off. But Dignitas, once they are seeing Chromie, they're immediately saying, like, okay, we're going to dive you. We have Urel, we're going to go straight on top of you. We have Maiev here too. Even outside of Garrosh with a flip, I think that's going to be rough. But let's find out if this is going to be a bit of a longer game, as Dignitas is setting up for game number 2 in Infernal Shrines. Whoopi again on Urel here on the left. We see Snitch with Maiev. Poik, of course, once again on Sergeant Hammer, as he played the same here in the last game. JPL this time switching over to Garrosh. And Deckard Cain, played by Zelia.
On the right side in the red, the Zealots. Shadow on Alexstrasza, Zarmony on Leoric, Robodoba on Johanna, Quacknix on Hanzo, and Chris. A siege away with that Chrome Stick.
Chris trying to make sure that Poik is not having as much free reign as he did in the last game, so trying to home in on Sergeant Hammer here, and also poking away at that front line. Split immediately. Don't give Chromie any stacks.
Yep.
Don't give her anything early on in the game. Try and delay that for as long as you can. Hammer already up at the top, Maiev down at the bottom. Also set up, if there's an rotation, you can even jump on a hero there. Quickly pushing that out.
Still 3 stacks already for Chromie, actually landing a few of those. I will say someone that does do pretty well with Chromie when it comes to at least getting those stacks is Chris. We did have a game on 2-Minute Spider Queen. They didn't win that game, but he did hit, I believe, over 100 stacks in that match.
But that seems to be the theme, right?
Yeah.
We're having Chromie players that are doing really well, they're getting their stacks together, and then they lose the game.
Yeah. Poor Chromie, man. How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
The dive is going to be something that she has to deal with. Proper time traps to anchor yourself. Time Walker's Pursuit. Important gadgets to equip yourself with.
I mean, one of the arguments why you can still bring Chromie in a little bit more is that now you have the third ban, so it's a bit easier to ban heroes out that usually go straight for her. Mena talked about how he feels that mages are starting to become more of an option now that you have the third ban, because you can target mobile heroes that are able to put the pressure onto mages. And we've seen Fnatic already attempt to use that with, let's say, Gul'dan, for example, who once or twice now made his way into drafts again. So that's definitely something we still have to observe and watch over the next couple of weeks, since the third ban is still pretty new. So I'm not sure if the players are fully adjusted to that. But yeah, we see that happening a bit more now.
JPL landing a couple of tosses on Robodoba. Well, not one they're going to really follow up on too much. Johanna doesn't mind getting tossed, if she'll pop her Iron Skin and just walk away from a fight. But a little bit slower tempo so far for Team Dignitas, and Zealots are hanging in there when it comes to experience. The question is, how will the Shrine phase go? When Dragon Queen comes online, will they be able to get there first?
I mean, the problem is you don't even have to set up for the early shrines. With Sergeant Hammer, you can also decide to push instead.
Yeah.
Cam's already at the bot lane here. And up to the top, Poik is still playing that 1 versus Leoric, which is always really annoying when you're Leo at this point, because you just eat these auto attacks the entire time. You have to just clear the wave and move away from that. Leoric with Austin's Renewal, but at least Neil Peasants helps him out here. But of course, going into a range damage dealer as a melee is always a nuisance.
Yeah.
It's a very annoying lane to play.
Any melee into Sergeant Hammer, you were just crying your eyes out, man. Like, she's able to poke. If you ever get to a spot where you try to force the engage, she knocks you away. It's an extra addition to damage. Slowly you're getting leeched down. You're begging for a gank. They never come.
It's oftentimes then later when you're having a bit better chance when you're having that melee hero again.
Yeah.
But of course there's also Maiev that can then rotate onto the lane, so it's not like there's not a second melee available for Dignitas, especially since they have Urel. Could have decided to have her at the top, decided against that. She was holding the bottom. And already claiming the position on the shrine here. Good zoning from Deckard Cain in particular again.
Putting an idea of going for that back line. See Snitch tossing out that little clone, looking for the ability to teleport in. Void continues to focus down the minion zone. 25-6. Zealots are able to get a Chromie combo off on top of Void. Does some decent damage. The stacks are going up a little bit to, oh gosh, a grand total of 9.
Yeah, but he still pops the Unstoppable here, just in case. Also, they still hold on to that shrine easily, and it's a protector. And top lane pressure is just continuing as we have Whoopi going up against Leoric here together with a camp, and he's just making sure that the fountain is gone. So already taking that retreat path away. The shaman itself is still there, and Whoopi is interrupting Zarmony as much as he can while we're still having the pressure down here at the bottom. Now the Dragon's Breath keeps coming through and the damage is there against Poik, but it's just not enough to deter him in any way from that position. So they're going for that wall and they're getting it.
Oberdoba had to use Iron Skin early for that protector, or the Punisher that was pushing in. So we had a little bit of a toss there. Finally it will be cleaned up.
And there's also a push out through Maiev at the bot lane. Hanzo is finally moving over, but that's an entire wave that just got lost to Zealots. Was taken down by the turrets. There was no one inside, no one nearby, so that's another wave that was just lost to Zealots while Dignitas got the entire experience.
Chromie did double her stacks during that fight though, was able to go up to 18. So we're getting there, continues to climb, but with all these turrets now being an open up, Chromie in a weird position where she kind of has to chase around Hammer. If Hammer ever sets up in a lane, she can start to look on those forwards. The middle lane already bruised a little bit, the bottom lane is opened up too, and the top lane. So Poik has his choosing, they just want to try and out-rotate the Zealots if they go that route.
And it is definitely a problem for Zealots that at the top lane they lost Fountain, the wall, and half of the HP on the fort itself, because the top lane is where the next shrine is going to spawn. And that's where you then can fight for the protector again. Whoopi, by the way, is continuing this build that we've seen him now mirror in a few games already, where you really go for the Avenging Wrath. The first one, the Talon level 40, to take the Aegis of Light, gives you the extra armor to allied heroes for actually 5 seconds, which is an insane amount of time, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the Holy Avenger with the cooldown reduction on 7. Now, we still see a lot of the Divine Steed taken on 7, especially, let's say, on Dragonshire, where you're trying to have that extra mobility. But Whoopi so far is just going for that cooldown reduction. And he is in a spot where he has just that mobility that is absolutely enough to keep him safe here, which is the main reason why he would go into Divine Steed. Quick rotations and safety.
Slowing Sand gets picked up. I was worrying about Temporal Loop possibly for Deckard Cain here, but with the amount of dive available, the moment you go for that Temporal Loop, you would never get the chance to go for the setup on the full Dragon's Eye into a Sand Blast. At least now with Slowing Sands, you have the ability to control Garrosh a little bit. You can force him to use that Indomitable, which keeps the rest of your teammates alive. And of course, you can try and prevent the escapes away from Team Dignitas if their dive isn't successful.
And that's level 10, and that is when we can see that dive. And talking about it, when you look at the level 10, we have actually Containment is taken. Leoric goes down at the top lane, but Containment is now allows them to dive even a little bit deeper and just to eliminate one of the heroes on the side of Zealots for a limited amount of time. Nice dodge by Snitch, but good damage coming out here. Needs to move away, does exactly that. The level 10 definitely allowing them to be more aggressive around it, and especially the top lane is now in trouble. Urel transitioned middle, and top lane is now Hammer pushing in and trying to take the fort down before the next objective spawns.
Well, they just being so annoying in the top right lane. That fort being sieged, there it goes, as mentioned. Boom. Bottom lane might be a fight for Zealots here. They're on the cusp of getting level 10. They're thinking about trying to go for an engage, but Dignitas, being wise, starts to back up. JPL holding that front line. No major fight breaking out. With the Shrine now at the top lane, Dignitas is trying to rotate over.
Yeah, and this is a Shrine. If you lose that, then you will at least lose the wall, or you should lose the wall at the keep. And that, of course, opens that lane up even further. Question is this, how much can Dignitas do if they actually take it? The rotations are there, and Zealots, how do they react to this? They have their own level 10, so now they can make the play. The rotation is a bit slow, though, so they're trying to push the lane out first, but that means that we're going to see Dignitas take the upper hand on the Shrine race. And they are already looking at 10 here. This is starting to become extremely rough for Zealots to win, even with a Dragon Queen.
Yeah, being this far behind, typically you want to be even floating around 20 before you pop that Dragon Queen, so you can make sure you can ensure you get it. Here we go. Zealots start to step up, slowing down on the right side, so they have a little bit of wiggle room, but with a tower to run to, Team Dignitas can toss anyone into those towers, and Johanna gets tossed.
And they're trying to go for Garrosh right now. JPL is still alive. Here comes the ult on the side of Hammer, getting the damage in. Job well done. This comes out, stops the heals for now, and they're starting to go straight for Zarmony. The slows are in, and Leoric is about to fall. He goes down, and we have 27-0 minion stacks on the Shrine itself.
Wubby continuing to increase that, goes up to 31, and Chromie combo does come out and will hit on top of Sergeant Hammer. But being able to drop down that resistance and armor will be just fine for him as he only takes a little bit of damage. And of course, Zillia taps him up afterwards. And there we go. Team Dignitas will grab the Arcane Punisher to the top and will look to push forward.
And to add insult to injury, we are already seeing them heading into level 13. So with a talent advantage and a Punisher, Dignitas is now pushing for a keep since they eliminated the fort early on in the game. And they're going to have a lot of their heroic abilities up again for the push. Torn in particular.
Seems to get worse and worse.
Yeah.
as time goes on. Punisher jumps in, wall deleted. Urel's on his way over, so we can have Team Dignitas keep pushing forward here, especially when they open that gate. Chromie will siege away, and she's doing well in stacks, 42 right now. So the damage is starting to climb a little bit, but the keep might fall.
Zelia's already going in here, and he's not the only one. The taunt is there. Johanna moves in deep. Ult comes through. Good damage against Hanzo and against Robadoba. They're going for the keep here, and it's low, but the Punisher's taken down. The problem is that same is true for Johanna as she falls.
Everyone groups up. Zarman is on his way for a potential flank. Drop down that Entomb, but with no Johanna being available, you don't have that follow-up for the Condemn. Yep. And
Ruby
is back up.
Ruby's jumping in to get the extra armor for his team, and that's exactly what he's doing. So it's incredibly difficult to get any kills against them. Once more, they try and get that keep here. 9 minutes and 30 in the game, and they've nearly made it happen. But they decide that they don't want to overstay their welcome here, so they move back for now. But still, that keep is falling at any point in time.
It's low enough that a BFG by itself can be killer, right?
It should be, yeah.
It's close. Definitely really close here.
I'll double check on that in a moment.
Checking right now. Ooh, a little bit. It'll take a couple.
That's
It'll take a couple.
1,700 hit points still. It looked like it was a bit less than that. But they're definitely in a spot where they can move in and take it down if they want. But it was mainly just simply sieging up in their position. And this is another thing. This really showcases also how disciplined Dignitas is. So many teams would just stay there and say, like, we need to get that keep, we need to get that keep. And then all of a sudden, the first hero falls, you get chased, maybe Leori comes in and drops that Entomb, and you lose more heroes, and that advantage that you have is gone. So Dignitas just saying, okay, guys, it's getting a bit too much. Let's just leave it. We are so far ahead, let's not risk anything here. Play this safe, we've done enough damage. We don't need to keep right now.
Zealots do hit 13, so they are looking for a fight. Maiev, however, finds a tether on Hanzo in the middle lane. He's by himself. BFG comes out. It's a little bit on the early side. Containment Disc comes out afterwards. Big Taunt afterwards. And JPL will be able to help get the kill with Maiev.
Yeah, down she goes, or down Hanzo goes, and now they're going for Robadoba, and he gets body blocked hard here. Very unlikely to walk away from this one. Another kill, 5 versus 0, 2-level lead, and Wooby still on the move here. Dodges out on the damage. 53 stacks, by the way, in Chromie. But now the rotation to the top lane is happening again. So the key that wasn't taken earlier is now claimed now that they're having 2 heroes eliminated.
Chris is on his way to help out. He's 6 stacks away from finishing off his quest. Goes for the Dragon's Eye, spraying the damage on top of Sergeant Hammer. And there we go. Cleaned up. Catapult pressure in the top lane, with a Shrine in the middle. That'll be nice for Team Dignitas while he continues to grab that later on with that Punisher coming in.
Maybe Urel with the damage at the bot lane. Trying to get that fort now, and we have a 3-level advantage right now. 3 levels ahead, Dignitas with the extra talent, the 16 talent lead, also giving now the Giant Killer variation towards Sergeant Hammer. Makes it even more difficult for Johanna here. And the fight continues, they're going in again. Robadoba trying to set something up, Entomb comes out, trying to stop them, but it's a perfect position for Poik to use his ult on Hammer. Gets the damage out, but they attempt at a kill. Zealots need to be careful though, they're already dropping in HP on all of their frontliners here.
They survive though. Robadoba low on health, but they survive.
The problem is they also blew a lot of the cooldowns, and we don't even have the Ardent Defender used on Urel's side. And now we have another objective being fought over, and before any rotation of the Zealots is even possible, Dignitas picks up 10 stacks. And is continuing that, it's snowballing all forward to 20. Zamani on half health is moving in, but this is just starting to hurt. Dig is gonna take another Punisher here if there's not a miracle happening, and they have a 3-level lead. Together with the talent advantage, they should be able to easily push towards the middle keep even.
I mean, they can just leave Wubby here. With that 16 talent coming online, being able to drop in that Holy Wrath and get that extra damage, he can make sure to clear out entire minion waves by himself. Didn't even need to. 17 to 14. Team Dignitas pushes the middle lane. Catapult starting to group up in the top lane. Zarmany will have to clear that out, and he does, but that leaves a Hanzo by himself as Quack gets pulled in with the tether, damage comes out, he gets thrown across the map, and he will fall.
Beautiful follow-up from everyone on the team here. The throw, the lockdown through Deckard, great play, and now Hanzo is down, and that of course makes matters even worse. He's one of the best tools that they have to clear the Punisher, and now that thing just jumps in again. That beast is on the move, and they will easily get the second keep here. Question just remains, can they get even more than that? I mean, that keep is already gone, 3 levels ahead still. Can they go for a core at this point? Do they want to even? But yeah, 2 keeps down, 13 minutes in, that's already rough.
So you have to be careful not to go up too heavily, because there is going to be a Hanzo arrow coming out soon. Entomb comes out, Team Dignitas groups up, the arrow connects on 4, BFG comes out afterwards. There's just no follow-up damage available.
The arrow is good, but it's still the 2 keeps that are gone, and the question, does Dignitas stay even a bit longer? They don't. They just move back for now, but this is, of course, a horrible position for Zealots to be in. You're down 6, you haven't gotten a kill yet. And that isn't only true for this map, it's true for the entire series.
They just don't stop. They go through the Night Camp at the top. Zealots come over to maybe fight a little bit, but they don't need to stay here. Urel's on the bottom, already grabbing that Merc camp. Yeah, Zombie's trying to chase here. He gets a nice little drain life on top of him. But JPL still getting out. Here comes Urel with a big flank though, and Hanzo needs to be careful.
It's also such a fun game for Snitch now, because he has the Armored Assault as level 16. So while my F has any positive armor, you deal additional damage. And the thing is, with Urel in the mix and her level 4 talent, you're basically guaranteed to have armor the entire time. So the damage output on Snitch's side is heavily increased. And that synergy is really working for them. My F is sitting at 26,000 damage. Only Poik has more at this point on their end. And now they're going in again. So yeah, great synergy that they're using through talents in this setup. Again, the lockdown. I mean, Zelia is such a beast on the hero, and he just knows perfectly when to follow us up and use his cooldowns. And you have 8 kills against Zero, you take down Johanna, you take down Hanzo, and you go straight for the core.
Speaking about Beast, the GOAT is in the back line, buying space as 3 members are dealing with her, keeping Chromie stuck at base. Zarmany is cleaned up with the BFG, and the rest of Team Dignitas, with the help of some catapults, they put their attention towards the core, and it begins to drop in health. Wubby goes over for an additional hit 2, or a defender popped for good measure, and that's going to be a 2-0 for Team Dignitas.
2-0 and a total game time of 27 minutes.
Between both games?
Yeah.
Wow.
27 minutes of game time between the 2 games. 11 minutes and something in the first one. It is 15 and a half. And not a single death. Not one.
Chromie had a lot of stacks, though.
It's impressive. Yeah, Chromie had a lot of stacks.
Positives.
Gets a lot of stacks and another loss.
Not so positive.
Yeah. I mean, Dignitas is just impressive right now.
Yeah, they're still on the level right now as they continue to push forward for that Western Clash for #1 seed that will be competing there in California. Zealots in game number 3 have to find a way to pull it together. It seems like in the early game it's starting to fall apart for them quickly as the objectives, the map